Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, and thank you for joining us today because you are about to dive into one of the most fascinating, surprising, and jaw-dropping stories in the world of rare coins. A story that takes an ordinary-looking copper-plated zinc penny, the 1998 D1-cent piece from the Denver Mint, and transforms it in the eyes of passionate collectors into a potential $6 million treasure. And as we unfold this incredible narrative, you will discover how tiny details, microscopic minting errors, hidden die varieties, and the mysterious dance of chance and history can elevate a coin that millions of people have casually spent on candy or dropped into change jars into something that museums, elite collectors, and high-stakes auction houses would fight tooth and nail to acquire. So sit back and imagine for a moment holding a small reddish-brown disc in the palm of your hand. A coin that weighs barely 2.5 grams, measures only 19 millimeters across, and bears the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the standard Lincoln Memorial reverse design used before the state quarters grabbed everyone's attention. Yet hidden within this seemingly ordinary piece are a collection of potential errors and varieties that transform it from pocket change into a life-changing payday. And to fully appreciate why a 1998 D penny could ever be valued at something like $6 million, we need to explore the thrilling world of minting technology. The unpredictable accidents that occur during the coining process, and the psychology of collectors who value rarity, condition, and dramatic backstories more than the metal itself, because a modern penny contains only a fraction of a cent worth of copper and zinc. But a once-in-a-lifetime combination of mistakes can turn that worthless composition into a record-breaking artifact. So let's begin with the Denver Mint in 1998, a bustling facility where billions of pennies were struck to meet the nation's demand for everyday currency, and imagine the endless streams of copper-plated zinc planchets being fed into massive coin presses at blinding speeds, each blank receiving a powerful strike from carefully prepared obverse and reverse dies that must remain perfectly aligned, perfectly polished, and perfectly hardened to produce crisp designs. But in any high-volume industrial process, perfection is more of a dream than a guarantee, and it is within those brief moments of imperfection where legends are born. For example, consider the possibility of a double die obverse, a situation where the hub used to create the die impresses the design twice at slightly different angles or offsets, creating a dramatic doubling of letters, numbers, or features on the coin. And collectors go absolutely wild for such varieties, as proven by the famous 1955 double die cent, which still commands staggering prices. Now imagine a 1998 D penny exhibiting bold, unmistakable doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "I in God we trust," with each letter showing a crisp secondary image, a dramatic visual proof that something went wrong deep within the mint's preparation rooms. And if such doubling were paired with pristine condition, perhaps a coin preserved straight from a mint set with blazing red surfaces, the value would already skyrocket into the tens or hundreds of thousands. But to reach the mythical $6 million figure, we must imagine even more spectacular circumstances. Maybe a mule error where a 1998 D obverse die was accidentally paired with the wrong reverse. Perhaps a reverse intended for another denomination or a special proof design. A scenario that has happened before in numismatic history and has produced coins worth millions, such as the fabled mule coins of other series that pair mismatched designs in a single strike. And picture a 1998 D cent accidentally struck with the reverse of a dime, or even a commemorative design, the clash of images creating a one-of-a-kind hybrid that no other collector could ever own. And because rarity drives price, a unique mule would create a bidding war among the world's most aggressive buyers, pushing the price into seven-figure territory and beyond. Now layer upon that the possibility of off-metal strikes where instead of a normal copper-plated zinc planchet, the coin was struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, such as a dime's copper-nickel composition, or even a foreign coin planchet stored in the mint for testing, and suddenly you have a penny that weighs differently, rings differently, and tests differently under X-ray fluorescence, a coin that challenges expectations and ignites the imagination of both professional graders and wealthy investors. And if the 1998 penny were discovered struck on a 90% silver planchet left over from proof coinage, or a rare experimental alloy being tested for future production, its intrinsic metal value might only be modest, but the numismatic premium would be astronomical, adding yet another layer of mystique to this Denver minted marvel. But minting mistakes alone do not tell the whole story, because condition plays a critical role in determining value, and the difference between a well-worn pocket piece and a gem uncirculated specimen can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. So picture a hypothetical 1998 error cent that not only possesses a once-in-a-lifetime die variety, but also survived the chaos of circulation in flawless mint state 70 perfection. Its surface is blazing with fiery red luster, microscopic details razor-sharp under magnification, and graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC, with a population report showing it as the single finest example known to mankind. A combination of rarity, condition, and dramatic error that sends shockwaves through the numismatic world, drawing headlines from major news outlets and creating a feeding frenzy among collectors who understand that opportunities like this come along once in a generation. And beyond mechanical errors, there are mysterious anomalies that sometimes appear when dies clash without a planchet between them, leaving ghostly outlines of reverse design elements imprinted on the obverse or vice versa, creating haunting patterns that seasoned collectors call die clashes. And if a 1998 D cent displayed an especially dramatic clash showing Lincoln's memorial columns faintly floating across his profile, or the outlines of lettering dancing across the fields, it would add yet another dimension of desirability, because collectors are storytellers at heart, and each unusual feature tells a story of chaos and accident inside the mint's massive machinery. Yet the legend of a $6 million penny is not only about physical features, but also about timing and narrative, because markets respond to publicity, to sensational headlines, and to the aura of uniqueness. And imagine a scenario where such a coin is discovered by a humble thrift store shopper or a child searching through a piggy bank, the discovery reported by major media outlets, the excitement spreading across social media, and suddenly wealthy investors, who normally compete in art auctions or rare car sales, decide they must own this cultural phenomenon, driving the price far beyond traditional numismatic logic, creating a feedback loop of hype and scarcity that pushes the final auction hammer price to an eye-watering $6 million. And if you think that sounds far-fetched, remember that similar things have happened before, with coins like the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle selling for over $20 million, and the 1794 flowing hair dollar breaking the $10 million barrier. So in the world of high-end collectibles, anything is possible when rarity, history, and human desire collide. And in the case of the 1998 penny, there are already known varieties that excite specialists, such as the close AM reverse variety, where the letters A and M in America are nearly touching instead of being spaced apart as normal, a subtle design detail that occurred when proof reverse dies were accidentally used for business strikes. And although most of these varieties sell for hundreds or thousands depending on grade, imagine a Denver minted example with an additional major error like an obverse double die, off-center strike, and perfect mint state condition all rolled into one. And you can see how a perfect storm of factors could theoretically propel a humble cent into the multi-million-dollar stratosphere, because collectors chase the impossible and pay premiums for coins that tell a story no other coin can match. And the beauty of this narrative is that it invites everyone watching to check their change, to pull out those dusty jars of pennies from the back of a closet,